Mr. Nilajit. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Shivani. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Thank you. Thank you for this long introduction. I didn't realize it would be that long. So thank you very much. So first of all, a very good afternoon to all of you, all the participants. I would possibly use a few charts to discuss the points that I would like to discuss today. But before that, thank you, Rahul, for laying the context. I think you have fantastically laid the context from the business perspective. And what possibly I'm trying to talk about now is going to be more around, one second, the business impact from digital, right? So I hope I share the, is it coming?
Yes, sir. We can see the screen. Yes.
You can see? Okay, let me take it on the presentation mode. Perfect. Okay.
Yes.
So I think, as I was saying that, as and Rahul mentioned, that it's very, very important that whatever technology we talk about, and today wherever we go to any company, digital seems to be the theme or the agenda of the day, right? Everybody talks about digital. Now, what is the business impact of digital? And that's possibly what we are trying to achieve here in the next possibly 20, 25 odd minutes to take you through the journey and what digital can do and how you should achieve digital. And what are the biggest challenges that one faces as they move towards digital, right? So I think I sort of have to put it down. Okay. So I think we all understand, and while this is more around chemical organizations, I'm personally not a chemical guru, but typically business imperatives that organizations look for in terms of achieving any outcomes, right, are around, can I get my design to the market faster, right? Is it possible to sort of reduce my production timelines, reduce rework, so I don't sort of spend more time doing the same thing again and again, but get my products rolled out to the market, get a cash back, move my working capital so that I can put it back to the business, right? So that's, I think, faster time to market is always the biggest business imperative that organizations across all industries look forward to, and chemical is no different from that. And that's a very critical area that we focus on. The second is operational productivity, right? Again, typical areas as energy cost. We witness that energy is one of the leading cost parameters when we look at from a manufacturing perspective for chemical industries. Inventory holding cost is another one, right? So again, linked back to faster time to market, getting my cash rolled back into the business, right? So asset management, because we are heavily asset incentive organization. So if we don't get the utilization of the assets right, we don't sort of get the uptime correct or get the right output from the assets that we sort of converting through the reactor, let's say they're getting the right yield, right? Or even I was talking to somebody, typically the catalysts that we use in the chemical process, right? How many batches can we run for a similar catalyst, right? So the more yield we get out of those, because catalysts are expensive outcomes, sort of components, and the overall asset utilization. Now, these are business imperatives that organizations are looking forward to. And obviously, we talk about the whole enterprise risk, right? Around cyber, around safety. Typically, we have seen incidents with startup situations where safety becomes a critical factor out here. So these are some of the business imperatives that organizations, chemical customers that we work with typically articulate, and they talk about these sort of challenges that sort of want to address, right? And obviously, in the process, I think the role that they want digital to play is, can we simplify our processes? Can we simplify the way we are doing things? Can we accelerate the business outcomes? What possibly takes 18 months for us to achieve, or 6 months for us to achieve, can you reduce it by, let's say, 3 months or 2 months or 4 months by leveraging technology, and help us innovate better, right, in more agile manner? Because many specialty chemical per se are also into product development, how they actually come up with a new recipe, new product, which again ensures that they get a better product in the market faster, right? Now, this is not what I'm saying, but I think there has been enough research done. People do understand that digital transformation is here to stay, and it is here to stay for a reason, right? The reason is clearly what is being listed out in the right-hand side of the chart, where we are talking about clear-cut impact, business impact, right? Now, obviously, we talk about areas of improvement, which is, again, I spoke about in my last slide also. We talk about energy asset utilization. We talk about how you reduce your cost. We talk about quality and compliances. We talk about workforce productivity, on-time delivery. But what is more important than what actually impacts my balance sheet or my profit and loss statement, right? Now, while areas of improvements are good, but where people believe, and I'm sort of quoting some of the leading experts who have actually done that research and study, are actually looking at significant gains coming from digital, from a business impact perspective, whether you're talking about production efficiency increase, right? Now, 20 to 35%, we're talking about yield improvement. The example of catalyst that I was giving was, again, a similar type of a yield where we sort of reduced the overall consumption over a number of batches or enhance the life of the catalyst, uh, getting the machine uptime, uh, so that you get a better utilization of the equipments, maintenance, getting your maintenance costs down significantly. Now, typically, if you can predict a failure of a machine, you obviously end up spending the maintenance cost is not getting impacted, but somewhere the production efficiency goes up, right? So you schedule the downtime in a way that you don't lose production. So your overall revenue loss is not impacted with that. Energy cost is a big area. Predominantly, when I'm talking about chemical companies, energy is a huge area where we see a lot of impact coming in. Workforce productivity. So I think there are a lot and more benefits which people are realizing, and this is slightly global data. So we have worked with customers in the process as well as in batch manufacturing, where people have benefited from the adoption of digital technologies, right? So I think we do understand that digital transformation does have a business impact, right? And that's across the different dimensions of improvement that we've been talking about. And typically what we witness that some of the use cases that predominantly we talk about, right? We talk about a digital twin where we get the physical entity being replicated in a digital entity so that you can get into situations which is not possible physically, right? There are equipments in the chemical process where possibly for a person to go down would be difficult. So can we get a digital replicate of that so that you can understand where the problem is? Somebody from remote can actually get into that and see where the problems are so that you don't need to be physically present. And with COVID, I think that has sort of increased significantly. We do talk about golden batch analytics. How do we maximize? Because that's where the cost figures can come down and the revenue, the profit figures can go up, right? The more close we are to the golden batch, can we replicate golden batch across all my batches? Is it possible for me to sort of automate some of those things rather than manually changing the set points? So those are some of the factors that comes in golden batch. Advanced process control is again, which I was sort of talking about that while we give an advisory to our operator to make the set point changes, can I use my machine learning algorithms to actually come up with the advisory, and not only the advisory, but also make the set point changes in my to my DCS system, let's say, right? So that's where advanced process control comes significantly in our process manufacturing setup. Energy management is again a fairly well discussed problem that, or other area that we talk about across to any senior leadership that we interact with. And obviously, last but not least, sustainability, because we are in an industry which has environmental impacts, right? Whatever productions we have, whether we are manufacturing specialty chemicals or basic chemistry products, I think there is a significant impact that we have to monitor in terms of sustainability, and also how we sort of ensure the consumptions that we do of water, energy, and all is being captured properly, because all of these have an impact on the environment. Now, however, what we've been doing till now is been talking. Yes, there is significant amount of benefit that we talk about, right? There is a significant amount of use cases or technologies available to support our cause. However, I think all the interactions I had personally, and sort of knowledge shared across multiple members that I work with, I think digital transformation is more than technology, right? And I think, as I said, I think that the way Rahul ended the last his conversation was actually stating that yes, it's more than technology, because technology today is available. Back at those days, 10 years back or 15 years back, when you used to struggle for technology, not anymore now, right? Now, what we struggle with now is organizational silos, right? Now, I'll bring some experiences that while we engage with our customers, I'll try and pull out some experiences. Now, the way we define priorities is different, whether I'm in production, I'm in maintenance, I'm in quality, I'm in R&D, I'm in finance, I'm in, let's say, supply chain, right? How to get a cohesive organizational priority set amongst the different units of an organization, and even it can vary from plant to plant, because most of you who are here would have multiple operating in multiple plants, right? So organizational silos becomes a critical component, and addressing that becomes important when you go for a digital transformation. And I think